Rise and shine, it's a brand new day with Mo and News. It's time to have your say. She's got the scoop, the stories, all the latest trends. Mo's got the news, let's hear it. My dear friends, from politics to showbiz, no story's too small. Mo covers it all. She's got the inside call, her voice so smooth, like honey in the summer sun. With Mo on the mic, you know the news is always fun. Mornings with Mo, the best newsy news in the world. With her style so classic and her stories unfurled, from morning till night, she's got us in the know. Turn on your radio, let Mo's newsy news flow.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. I am back. My voice is mostly back. And as far as I know, Nick survived his meeting with my wild feral children. I'm not sure that he'll ever come back to Indiana, but he did survive and was in good health when I left him in Delphi. Although I think he went to poke the bear a little bit more after I left. I wanted to get out of there before I needed bail money. Nick has a way of just talking to people and they're like, oh, he's just Swedish. Thank you guys so much for joining this morning. It is August the 20th and we have a lot of news. Yeah, I take a couple of days off and everything explodes. Good morning, Wolfram. Thank you for doing your mod things. And thank you for everyone who joined Nick and I on our walk. We managed to walk an hour, two of us with, maybe not the best mobility, but it was nice to be able to go there and go to Delphi and do all of that. And tonight, instead of newsy news, I will be kind of doing a story time and just my thoughts being in Delphi. It was actually a really emotional experience, and I was not expecting that as much because I find myself deeply serious and avoid adult human emotions, which may be a maladaptive. Good morning, Terry and Jedi Jess and Peachy Peaches and Kim. Good morning, everyone. Our first story is that Morgan Stanley International Chair Jonathan Bloomer is among 6 still missing after a yacht sinks off of Italy. It does seem weird that a lot of people that know stuff, billionaires, they all seem to be getting in wrecks or plane crashes or anything. I mean, not that I'm supposed to notice things, but I maybe call shenanigans. Just might could. Morgan Stanley International Chairman Jonathan Bloomer and his wife are among 6 people that are still missing after a mega yacht sank off the coast of Italy Monday morning, according to officials and reports. Bloomer remains unaccounted for by the Bayesian, a 180-foot luxury sailboat that capsized with 22 people aboard off the port of Portillo, after it was struck by a tornado. Salvatore Concha, head of the Civil Protection Agency in Sicily, said, "Good morning, Celestial Force and King Bob." His wife is also missing, the Daily Mail reported. The British tech tycoon Michael Lynch, 59, and his 18-year-old daughter Hannah have also not been found since the ship wrecked. The Italian agency also confirmed that Chris Morvolio, an attorney at a British law firm, Clifford and Chance, which represented Lynch in a massive fraud case in California this year, is also missing, per The Guardian. Morvello also served as an assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York from 1999 to 2005. The Post has reached out to Morgan Stanley and Clifford Chance for comment. I'm guessing they haven't heard back from them. The ship's chief, Canadian-born Thomas Ricaldo, was confirmed that he had passed away in the capsizing by Italian officials, and his body was recovered. So there are a lot of people still missing, and it is incredibly sad. I don't know how you can get closure from this. I hope that they find all of these people so at least their families can have, the memorials that they need and have that sort of not performance, but that thing that we all need, that human connection to the person that we lost. And yes, you can do it without, having a big funeral and things like that, but I do think that sometimes our rituals help us to get through things that there are no words to explain. There are no words to check. I, you would think they have weather stations. I have no idea. Good morning, JKD Buck and Squid Pro Quo. Bloomer, reportedly a close friend of Lynch's, is also the chairperson for insurance provider Hiscox and was formerly the executive chief of Prudential, according to his LinkedIn file. 15 others on board, including Lynch's wife, Angela Barceas, who owned the ship, and one 15-year-old girl managed to escape the super yacht before it went down. The boat was carrying a crew of 10 people and 12 passengers when it sank. 8 of those who were rescued were taken to a local hospital, officials said. So I will praise and commend the rescue team because it seems like they were on top of it as and the rituals help us grieve. They give us a place to do that, a place to break down sort of a socially acceptable, I am in a bad place, treat me kindly. It does, because the cruelest thing about losing someone is, and it sounds ridiculous, but if you go to Walmart, the world goes on. There's still people out buying toilet paper. There's still people out just, buying tin foil. And they your world has collapsed and theirs hasn't stopped, and the world doesn't stop when so having that time where you can stop is really helpful. In other news, well, I don't know that I would go to a voodoo retreat in Haiti right now or ever, but that it's not my jam. It was her jam. But a North Carolina woman passed away after going on a voodoo retreat in Haiti, and her son wants answers. A North Carolina man is asking for answers after his mother passed away while on a voodoo retreat in Haiti. Dana Jackson, 51, wanted to become a Mambo priestess. A Mambo priestess, quote, is a female ritual specialist in Haitian voodoo tradition, like her male counterpart, an Honagan or Ongan. Look, I am messing this thing up. I do not know how to speak Haitian. Well, I think it would be Creole French, but I don't know how to. Oh, absolutely. Go sub to Squid Pro Quo if you haven't, and make sure that you are still sub to her if you have subscribed to her, because sometimes YouTube decides you no longer want to be subscribed to people. So let's get her over those last 40 and get her monetized, and she can make her own little sticker guys and things. Awesome. Let's get the 41 to her, and then we can just go and get her monetized. The more people monetize, the better. Excuse me. She would perform ceremonies, initiations, healings, and divinations, according to an article on the Harvard University website. Voodoo is an African religion that comes from the word Fon, which means God or spirit, and originated in the ancient kingdom of Dahomey, present-day Nigeria, Benin, and Togo, according to an article on religion by PBS.org. Alternative spellings of the religion include Voodoo or Voodoo, but not voodoo. The spelling voodoo is considered, quote, sensationalist and derogatory Western creation. I had no idea that spelling voodoo that way was wrong. Her son, Timothy Jackson, told USA Today that it was something she'd wanted to do, and she'd been practicing a few years before she went to her trip to Haiti. Quote, 4 years ago, my mom started to do a little bit of research on the African traditional spiritual belief systems, and voodoo was a part of that, he said. She had kind of been on this path of just kind of doing research and practicing, or at least just doing her due diligence as far as research was concerned, end quote. Jackson said that his mom left for Haiti on July 1st and was supposed to return to the United States on July 26th. His mother traveled with a group of people who had joined a house in order to participate in voodoo rituals. Quote, the people she went down there with, their name is Sayoti, and I believe that means society in Turkish language, and Nago, Jackson said. These weren't strangers she went down there with. These were people that she had built a relationship with. Jackson said the group went to a trip to Boston together in June. During part of the voodoo ceremony, Jackson was expected not to hear from his mom. If you do any research about parts of the ceremony, even just on Google, it'll tell you that it's very sacred and things of that nature, he said. So she sent me one last message on the 13th and said, we'll talk again on the 31st, going to church tomorrow. Jackson said his mom spoke to him every day, but there was the no communication part was nerve-wracking for him. However, he wanted to respect his mother's decision to participate in the ritual. The last message he received from her on July 21st, she asked him to pray for her. The entire week was just kind of low key. I was having anxiety because I was not able to hear from her. I know this is a very important part of the ceremony, he said. On the 21st, I didn't hear anything from her. I did reach out to her at about 5 p.m. on WhatsApp and didn't get any response. The next day, Jackson still hadn't gotten a message from his mom, and he began to worry. I woke up, I'm not going to lie, I was in a bit of a panic because I felt like now she would have responded to my text, he said. At around 5 p.m. on July 22nd, his grandmother broke the news that his mother had passed away. The way she told me was, your mom's not coming back from Haiti. So I hung up the phone on her, and he said, I called her back and asked, why did she mean that? And she said, she's not coming back from Haiti. She passed away. Okay, grandma, mama, look, I have unfortunately had to deliver news that someone passed away. I don't think I've ever used like, well, they're never going to go to Walmart again. I mean, look, I have a very, very dark sense of humor, but I know when to use it and when not to use it. Um, you know, I can gauge that, but grandma, good lord. I mean, I have a dark sense of humor, but even I would be like, "Holy flizzolies." Like, it's not like it's a second cousin, it's his mom. I mean, not that it would be okay if he lost his second cousin, but still, what in the actual heck, grandma? To be fair to grandma, to be fair to completely fair to grandma, you have just learned that your child passed away in a foreign country. You have no idea, and she was probably in a state of shell shock and just called the grandson, and you cannot honestly, you cannot control what comes out of your mouth sometimes when you're grieving or shell shocked that bad. So it could have just been one of those verbal just moments, and she wishes she had said it better. Yeah, I can't imagine saying, of all the countries I'm gonna go learn this in right now, I'm gonna go to the one that's controlled by a guy named Barbecue." I'm just saying. But it's still a terrible thing that this woman passed away. In order to confirm his mother's passing, Jackson reached out to one of the leaders of the group that went to Haiti with his mother. The first thing he asked them was, how much did he know? To be completely honest with you, my initial thought was that my mom went down to Haiti and they did this last piece of the ceremony and something sinister happened. A person who spoke with him told him that his mom had gotten extremely sick during the ceremony. They told him she kind of fainted, and when she regained consciousness, she didn't know where she was. When a member of the house asked her where she was, she said she was in Virginia, Jackson said. However, Jackson said that his family hasn't lived in Virginia for over a year. Jackson said they had brought her to the hospital. At the hospital, she started to have what appeared to be seizures, and they said she had both a heart attack and a stroke. He said, that was the initial story, he said. They said, my mom didn't bring her medicine, so there's a red flag because what medicine are you guys talking about? It sounds like they were trying to perpetuate a story. Jackson was also supposed to get an update about where his mother's body was on the 16th of August, but that still hasn't happened. I haven't heard anything, he said. I don't even think the US Embassy got involved or even received the necessary paperwork until about 4 days ago. Now, I do want to spend some time because, we've talked all about what happened to her, but they do have a part that explains who this woman was. And I think sometimes in our stories, we forget who the people actually are. Although Jackson's mom had him at a young age, her goal was to work hard to create a better life for them. In 1999, Jackson said his mother took a job at a technology company that was based in Savannah, Georgia. In his mom's role, she was able to start the company's operations in the state. During their time in Georgia, Jackson remembers getting his own bathroom and his own bedroom and attending extracurricular activities, ultimately getting closer to his mother. Years later, he asked his mom why she decided to relocate. I asked her many years later, "Why did you decide to move down there?" And she said, "Tim, I needed to learn how to become a mother to my son," he said. Another memory that Jackson shared was in 2017 when his family took a trip to Las Vegas, Nevada, where the two ended up meeting rapper Nelly. The rapper ended up turning around and talking to the two before he left the hotel. In Vegas, we were getting ready to check out from our hotel, and Nelly was coming out. My mom looked at me, I looked at her, then we both chased him. That was just how in sync we were. So I feel terribly sorry for the son. I hope that the embassy does help get his mother back. I know that is a lot of red tape. It's often a bit of extortion on the parts of the other countries, saying that there's fees and things that you must pay to get your relative back. And most of the time, they seem like a made up fee and just extortion. So that she sounds like a wonderful mother, and I completely understand having to grow with your child. I was 22 when my firstborn was, well, born, and I tell her all the time that we kind of grew up together. I grew up to become a mom, and she's growing up to become herself, which works. A basketball player is getting a new trial. Jurors attempt to date witness during an SA trial results in a basketball star getting a second chance to prove that her coach abused her. So keep it in your pants. Wait till the trial is over. If you guys have sparks or what have you, could you please wait till the trial is over, doggone it? A basketball player will get a second chance to convince a civil jury that she was SA'd by her former basketball coach after a bizarre instance of juror misconduct overturned the verdict of a trial earlier this year. Maya Giles Jones, 19, previously played for Terry Stanford's high school in Fayetteville, North Carolina. As a distinguished superstar point guard, last season she was a redshirt freshman who did not play due to an injury on the Fordham's women's basketball team. In the lawsuit, Giles Jones claims her now former high school coach, Thurston Jackie Robinson, 61, inappropriately touched her on numerous occasions and once exposed him to her or himself to her. If true, let's see. One-way ticket to Snake Island. I am not joking. We cannot have you in society if you cannot respect our children. In a trial in May that ended in a victory for Robinson, so the coach, on Monday, Cumberland County Superior Court Judge Robbie Hicks ordered a do-over. Less than a week after the loss, Giles Jones' attorney filed a motion for a new trial based on juror misconduct, according to a copy of the filing obtained by Fayetteville news site CityView. As it turned out, one of the jurors in the proceedings broke court rules and contacted one of the witnesses to ask them out on a date. Okay, do we not have Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, uh, mail a pen pal from prison? Do we not have enough of these sites that you have to try to date the witnesses? Swear to actually tiny baby Jesus. What is going on here? Quote, this juror initiated contact with one of the plaintiff's witnesses, occurring within several days or with several days left in the trial well before jury deliberations, the motion reads. The fact that a juror initially initiated electronic contact with and propositioned one of the plaintiff's witnesses for a romantic encounter and was rejected has tainted the trial that occurred in this matter, that otherwise would have been error free, and prevented the plaintiff from having 12 unbiased and impartial jurors. End quote. After she testified, Soraya or Sarah, it is spelled, I'm going to show you guys this because y'all, I'm going with Soraya. It is Sarrayayyah. I'm going with Soraya or Sarah. I don't know. This spelling thing has gotten nuts. And I have to read these names and I'm like, look, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I don't know. Good morning, King Bob. So after Sarah Kennedy testified, she received a Facebook Messenger message from a longtime Facebook friend who happened to be a juror sitting in the judgment on this case. Though the two had never actually met in person, the juror, Keem Cook, asked Kennedy out twice, once in 2017, and then minutes after her testimony on day 2 of the trial, he said she was prettier in person and again tried his luck, still to no avail, City View reports. Kennedy, for her part, ended the conversation. She said because of her knowledge of the rules from court shows, yay. I've Sarah and Farah. I'm just saying. Now, the witness did allow Cook to message her again when the verdict was returned. In one message, he kept at it, referring to her as a pretty lady. And perhaps notably, the jury and Kennedy both spoke in highly negative terms about the accused coach, the messages show. Regardless of their opinions, however, Tar Heel State Court rules prohibits any conduct that would interfere with ensuring a fair, impartial jury trial, such as contact with the parties. Thank you, Unhung Hero. Her brother is Upgrade with 2 Ds. Probably. I didn't even think of that. You guys are on fire this morning. This is the Monday is Tuesday. Since I didn't do Monday, I feel like today is Monday. But Unhung Hero, you win the internet. I wouldn't open the boxes that say dark web, but allow 6 to 8 weeks for, delivery. During the trial, the judge, in his perfunctory fashion, also made clear that the jurors were not supposed to have contact with anyone in the case. Apparently, Keem thought there was, like hot girl exception loophole. I mean, I can't imagine how that would happen, but hey, he was like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I kind of get that, but you can wait till the GD trial is done, for the love of all that is Cheetos. The defense and the judge were appraised of the violation in short order, respectively, one of the plaintiff's attorneys told City View. Now, a new trial is currently slated for November 13th to relitigate Giles Jones' claims against Robinson. The ladies' hoop phenom claims that she was between the ages of 16 and 18 when her then coach was inappropriate with her almost every day until sometime in September 2022. The alleged abuse did not rise to the level of SA, but did include kissing, hugging from behind, where he was very close to her, appendages touched, if I'm not drawing a picture on the whiteboard of truth. Touching her breasts and backside and other things. Giles Jones said Robinson only stopped doing this when he became the subject of a criminal investigation. The now former coach was arrested by the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office in 2023 on 9 counts of sexual battery and 6 counts of taking indecent liberties with a student, just days after she filed her civil lawsuit against him. In the aftermath of his arrest, Cumberland County School District said the accused man's contract had expired. Robinson made bail and now stands accused of 10 counts of misdemeanor SB, sexual battery, 5 counts of felony of taking indecent liberties with a student, 1 count of felony indecent exposure, according to court records. The criminal allegations concern concerned both Giles Jones and two other former players. As a defendant in both criminal and civil cases, Robinson has consistently maintained his innocence. Robinson was previously awarded court costs when he won the first go around, according to the Fayetteville Observer. If he does not appeal the grant of a new trial won by the plaintiff, he'll face her renewed request for $2.5 million in damages. Now, I do get a little irritated with these large amounts of money because they are coming from the taxpayer. They are going to come from the school. It is not going to come from the person that you are actually suing. And if this man is a former basketball coach, when the heck are you going to get $2.5 million from this man? I hope that, if she has proof, then he gets the punishment that he deserves. He is still innocent in the eyes of the law. Hopefully, if he did these things, the state actually has good evidence so we can take this man out of circulation if he did it. Yeah, it's just that's gross. You are in a position of authority. We trust you with our children and you do this? Absolutely not. Snake Island. Um, in headlines I never thought I would see, the Mennonites are making the Amazon their home. Um, I guess there's a Mennonite invasion of the Amazon. You know what? This timeline is the weirdest timeline I have ever seen. Wonderland, Peru, weeks after living in jungle tents and the handful of Mennonite families trying to make a new home deep in the Peruvian Amazon began to despair. Wasps attacked them as they tried to clear forest. Heavy rains turned the road to their camp into mud. Running low on supplies, they wanted to turn back, but instead they worked harder and eventually carved out an enclave. There's a place here I wanted to live, so we came and opened a part of it up, recalled Wilhelm Thelson, a Mennonite farmer. That's what everyone did to have a place to live. Today, 7 years later, the cluster of homesteads is now a thriving colony, Wonderland, home to roughly 150 families, a church, which doubles as a school, and a cheese processing facility. It's the one of a string of Mennonite settlements that have taken root throughout the Amazon, turning the forest into thriving farms, but also raising concerns among environmentalists about deforestation of a jungle already under threat from industries such as cattle ranching and illegal gold mining. Mennonite communities have come under official scrutiny as well, including in Peru, where authorities are investigating several, accusing them of clearing forests without required permits. The colonies deny any wrongdoing. Mennonites first started migrating to Latin America from Canada about a century ago after the country ended their exemptions from education requirements and military service. The president of Mexico at the time, Alvaro Obregón, was eager to consolidate rebellious northern regions from the Mexican Revolution and gave Mennonites uncultivated lands and guaranteed that they could live as they wished. In subsequent decades, other Latin American countries have sought to expand their cultural frontiers and have made several similar invitations. Oh, they're Personites. You know, you are right, JKD Buck. How dare me? I will flog myself later for my misuse of pronouned, gendered, religious theories. Today, more than 200 Mennonite colonies in 9 countries in Latin America occupy some 9.6 million acres, an area larger than the Netherlands. When their denomination first emerged, according to a 2021 study by researchers at McGill University in Montreal. Bolivia has seen the fastest growth of any Latin country and now has 120 Mennonite colonies. Okay, can I still get really good pretzels there? Asking for a friend because, oh my gosh, I love Amish cooking. There is a reason that I cannot eat Amish cooking all the time because, whew, they can cook some food and it will stick to your ribs and your hips and your thighs, which I love, but I'm trying to get all those, old sticky foods off of there, so I can't have it very much, but I love it. Mennonites have also sought land in Suriname a small South American country rich in pristine forests, setting off protests from indigenous groups and the Maroons, descendants of enslaved peoples. Look, I say if they are willing to go down there, put in the work to make their own place, not rely on the government, do everything themselves, produce products that sell, that increase productivity and the economy, there has to be, you can have a balance between maintaining forest. I've never known Mennonites to trash a joint once they get in there. They don't party, it doesn't party like a rental with the Mennonites, I don't think. I think that they're going to be, very respectful stewards of the land. That's just me. Oh my gosh, yes, and their apple dumplings. My inner Cartman is like, "They're all mine. Man, I'm taking this dumpling and I'm going home because I have vanilla ice cream at home, dig on it." And I don't want people to see me make, like, the faces of yay in public because I love those things, which is why I don't get them when they are offered, because holy fazoli's, I would need to be rolled out of my room. That's my thoughts on it. I understand that, a outside influence. Are you saying that we are are Latin American countries saying that the Mennonites are not sending their best and brightest? I don't know why this tickles me so much, but it is an interesting thing. I think that if they can, find a balance, this would be a wonderful thing. I don't think, you know, this is a bad thing, but I don't live there. It's not my country. I don't really have a, stake in this. So it is hard to kind of say, hey, the Mennonites are right or these people are right. I think you can strike a balance. In Get Lord Chippy out, because what the heck is New York City doing with criminal justice? This frosted my flakes, burnt my biscuits, and scorched my grits. I was so angry. Dad of a slain 7-year-old girl in New York City blasts authorities for letting the case drag on for 3 years as the accused killer mom dodges court. So obviously, excommunicated from the mom female or lady church. We don't know her. She doesn't go here. I don't know what you're talking about. She is a female and she was an incubator. She was not a mother. There you go. I fixed that for you. The dad of a 7-year-old, I'm hope look at that beautiful, precious little angel. Her eyes are all sparkly. She's got the beautiful smile. And this mom just didn't respect that. And it's tragic. The dad of a slain 7-year-old Bronx girl blasted authorities for letting her case drag on for more than 3 years, as the child's alleged murderous mother skipped a planned hearing on Monday. Navasia Jones, incubator, 37, allegedly further stalled the wheels of justice by refusing to leave City Corrections Department bus after officers drove her from Rikers Island for her planned appearance in the Bronx Supreme Court. Quote, "I don't know what to say anymore. This is unheard of. This is nuts." The heartbroken dad, in front of everyone, having to just show his pain. It's just absolutely ridiculous that victims have to scream for justice. "This makes me angry. It makes me sad," Battis added. "It's unreal. 3 years and nothing. She's sitting in jail, but that's nothing. That's not justice. It's like she never murdered my daughter," end quote. Just absolutely, this beautiful little girl. After asking court officers several times Monday about whether Jones would be produced in court or not, Bronx Supreme Court Justice Joseph McCormick ultimately adjourned the case to Wednesday. The abandoned court appearance comes after the third anniversary of police discovering little Jaleesa's broken body in Jones's apartment at NYCHA's Mitchell's Houses complex on August 10th, 2021. The case shocked the Big Apple and sparked allegations that the city's administrations of children's services had failed. How many times do these, DCFS people have to fail before we just reform the system? How many times do they see red flags, but all they worry about is getting those kids back with the parents that are obviously bad? Yeah, anyone can have a kid, but not everyone can be a parent. Being a parent is a thankless job. You know, it's loud, it's dirty, it's a full contact sport. And you have to every day, you know, be a role model, teach them, admit your faults, be human, and try to stay hydrated. I am not going to lie, being a parent is hard, but never, ever, ever should we send kids back to these horrible incubators. I don't understand why DCFS is so just deadhead against letting these children go to people that would love them. Maybe not by blood. You don't have to be blood to love someone. You don't. Absolutely, Celestial Force. In reality, they take kids away from good homes, and the ones that are truly red flag, they keep sending them doggone back. And these people keep having children. And I don't want to get super mean, but if you have a history of not taking care of your kids, then you should have to get on permanent birth control. I can't. Rant over, but this beautiful baby girl just absolutely ticks me off. They returned her to the mother's home where there had been a known history of violence. Let me repeat that. They returned her to her mother's home where they knew the children would be placed in danger. I know, JKD Buck. There's a whole lot of pieces, and sometimes when you look at it, it's like, how do we fix this? How can we fix this so broken system? It just it hurts me so much because these kids, I would take in every single one of them. I would be bald with stress, but these kids, just to keep them out of harm's way, I don't understand how you can do it. I really, really don't. Now, part of the delay comes from the fact that it took nearly a year after Jalissa's shocking death in June 2022 to arrest her mother and her son, Paul Fine Jr., 19, on murder and manslaughter charges. Beatty's calls out how quote unquote ridiculous it was that his daughters accused killers have been languishing in city jails since then without even a trial day set. And I mean, they had to get this is heartbreaking. I mean, who plans for their little baby girl, their, school photo to be their obituary picture? And he's never and we let these criminals get away with abusing the system, but, the families don't get anything. And if you wanna get really, really mad, go look up the Stephanie Roper case. You will have a s your eyes will roll so hard that the tilt of the earth is somewhat, compromised. Jones is now scheduled to appear alongside Fine Jr., who is charged with beating Jalissa, his half-sister, to the point that she passed away, and SAing her after punching her repeatedly in the stomach. If it really is. Yeah, it is a big thing, and I God bless the good social workers, the good guardian ad litems, but it seems like there are a lot of burnt out, just going through the motions, overworked people that just are willfully blind to some of this stuff. Jones is charged with murder as well, and she allegedly lied to the police, claiming that the girl had merely fallen and hit her head on a desk. Yeah, that doesn't lacerate your spleen. A spokesperson for the Bronx District Attorney Darcel Clark's office said that prosecutors plan to set a schedule as soon as Wednesday for the case to finally move forward. Quote, "We stand ready for the case to move forward towards hearings and the trial," the spokesperson wrote in a statement, adding that the office's Crime Victims Assistance Bureau will make services available to the Beatty's family for as long as they need them. Fine Jr. was recently hired a new private attorney, Melth Masbeth-based Devral Dexvral L. Canick court records show a Bronx DA spokesperson said that the lawyer switch up has also contributed to the delay. And look at her. She graduated from kindergarten. I mean, these are all moments that were absolutely, I don't want to get Lord Chippy sick. So, son, it is. Beatty's father said it was beyond frustrating that the case has dragged on this long and demanded authorities find a way to make his nightmare end. I just got to keep living this every day. I can't move forward with my life because it's still going on, he told the Post. It's like being stuck in a horror movie, Beatty's added. Maybe something will happen on Wednesday. Hopefully, this article, hopefully, Slinky, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't looked deeply into this case. I will try to pull some of I will see if I can get some of the, information pulled on this, and we'll do a Angry Mo rants, because this is ticking me off, but hopefully the public eyes, this is in the New York Post, hopefully, and on the front page, both digitally and I'm sure on print in New York. So, absolutely, I hope so, but I hope that she can be remembered. If I do find the court, I will try to find more about the girl she was, because she absolutely deserves to be remembered for the special, beautiful, unique child that, was taken from the entire world, not just the family, but they also have all of those future moments stolen. And if I'm going to do anything, I will do that. If I'm going to do anything, I want her to at least be remembered as a beautiful, vibrant, happy child and what she loved and what she cared for. I'm off my ranty thing, but these things just hurt me so much. I don't like covering them, but the more they get out, the more that people realize there's a problem, the more we can all act together. I mean, for goodness sake, could you imagine if everyone protesting, foreign flung wars got together and we all yelled about all of these children getting, lost, abused, shuffled in the system. Can you imagine if every single protester that's at the DNC, every single protester that seems to have placards written all the time, could you imagine if we all banded forces together and to be a voice for children? Could you imagine what we could get done? But we're so busy worrying about things all, outside of our sphere of influence, when if we could focus on just this small local thing, the saving our children, making sure that no child loses their life in child protective custody, because we lost, I think, 69 in Indiana last year. Imagine if we could all get up in arms about that stuff. All right, I will get off. Sorry, I don't know. Yesterday and today, I'm like, I'm having all the feelings. Is this what it's like to be a female? Because holy God, these are a lot of feelings. Good morning, Fun Diane, and I absolutely will, Jedi Jess, send you and that. In one night, two places in the Northeast were hit with a 1 in 1,000 year rainfall. Two places on the same night, the storm that deluged the Northeast this weekend dumped rain at or near rates that should be expected only once in 1,000 years. The storm killed at least 3 people and caused widespread flooding. It dropped about 10 inches of rain over 12 hours on Sunday in parts of Connecticut, including Oxford and Southbury. It was about 35 miles away that they got 6.7 inches of rain in 3 hours on Sunday in Stony Brook, New York. Both are measures that would have been roughly a 0.0% chance of happening in a year, according to federal rainfall probability data. I didn't even know we collected that data. I guess I shouldn't be shocked considering how much we collect all the time. There are 2 areas that got a sort of equally extreme rainfall, and they didn't happen at the same time, said Nick Basil, director of State Weather Risk Communication Center at University of Albany in New York. Anyone of those would be noteworthy, and it's interesting that not only 2 of them got in a larger storm pattern, but they were consecutive. It's impossible to immediately determine the influence of climate change on this particular event, but scientists have said that the 1 2 punch of extreme rainfall fits the pattern for the Northeast. There were severe storms and a growing likely risk. Those thunderstorms are now packing more rainfall. Mark Wazowski, who recently retired as New York State's climatologist, for every degree of so there you go. It might be, global warming. It might be all of that. Oh my goodness, John Gary. Well, it it does look like a small little place, even with the shopping cart in the thing. I hope everyone is safe and they can get some of the infrastructure, maybe bridges back together because rural communities, I mean, when you live out in the sticks, you maybe only have 1 or 2 ways to get out. And if this bridge is out, we have several bridges around us. If they go out, we are kind of stuck in our own little area. So hopefully they get this taken care of. Now, since I've been babbling about a bunch of sad stuff, we will add some interesting stuff. I mean, it's a talent. A woman's tongue is the world's widest at 3.11 inches. Good morning, Toodly Pip. And she was awarded a Guinness Book record for the title uh, of world's widest tongue, I guess. I don't know how she fits that all in her mouth. And that sounds dirty, and I don't mean it to, but oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do with this? I have the maturity of a 12-year-old. Brittany Lacayo told the record-keeping organization she decided to apply for the title after learning that the former record holder, Emily Schleckner, whose tongue what measured 2.89 inches wide. Lacayo's tongue is exactly as wide as the average length of an adult woman's tongue, 3.11 inches. I didn't know that we had average tongue measurements. Her tongue is actually wider than it is long. When measured from the epiglottis, the flap of oh, I had to just ugh, I almost want to gag just thinking how they measured it. The male version of the record belongs to American Brian Thompson, who has a tongue that measures 3.49 inches wide. So there you go. That's a talent, I guess, or something that you can, you know what? You can always tell your mom, hey, I have the world's widest tongue. I am not a screw up. In dumpster water person of the century, absolutely dumpster water behavior. A heartless thief steals children's lemonade stand money jar containing $40. It is girthy, unhung hero. Thank you for the super chat. I find these stories and I find them amusing, but not this one. This man is a dumpster. He is worse than the corroded dumpster water at the bottom of trash cans. Just a terrible, disgusting person. Allegedly in Minecraft. Do not come after me for defamation. You done stole from kids, okay? Try me. A heartless thief robbed a money jar containing $40 from a children's lemonade stand in Virginia, shocking footage shows. Rebecca Caldwell, 10 years old, and her younger brother Joseph were selling lemonade in front of their home in Chesapeake last week when a silver Toyota sedan pulled up, security footage from the home shows. A man in his 30s, tattooed, steps out of the car and Rebecca begins to pour him an ice cold glass of the drink for someone she thought was their next customer. But the crook instead grabbed the jar with their earnest money and took off, the video shows. We already had $40. It seemed pretty cool. And then the guy came, Rebecca told Wave TV. He acted really nice. He was just saying, like, quote, nice, y'all are doing a lemonade stand. And then he was getting pretty close, but my back was turned, so I didn't really realize. Rebecca and her younger brother ran inside and told their mother they'd been robbed, and their mother called the Chesapeake police. Just I mean, these little kids are just doing their, handmade, country time lemonade, trying to be entrepreneurial and everything. You are a gross dumpster fire human if you do this. Just absolutely no F's given. Anita Caldwell said part of her wants a chance to speak with the thief. The family has filed a police report and has been in regular contact with authorities since the incident. They've had a lot of follow up with us, Ryan Cadwell said. They've been communicating well and stuff. They're really interested in helping and seeing this resolved. Rebecca, however, has chosen to emphasize forgiveness. Quote, we want him to become a Christian and have a good life, but we would not say no to jail. More community service and stuff like that, she said. Support from the Cadwell's community has been heartwarming, the parents said. Someone from Ryan's work replaced the $40, and viewers told Wave they all plan to mail the children checks. There are always good things that can come out of bad situations, Anita said. Rebecca and Josh plan on setting up another lemonade stand this Saturday. Yeah, right to jail. Right to jail. And ear infections hurt. I am sorry, Wolfram. I've had more ear infections as an adult than I ever had as a child, which is weird because technically the reason that kids have more ear infections is I'm going to butcher this name, their eustachian tubes are straight, so they don't drain well. But as an adult, they're supposed to tilt more down, so they're supposed to be able to drain better, but not me. I just get weird. In what I can only call the weirdest headline I have seen this year, which is saying something. A museum exhibit explores the mysterious, quote, Kentucky meat shower, end quote, of 1876. I didn't know Kentucky had a meat shower, but okay. A Kentucky museum's new exhibit is dedicated to one of Bath County's most mysterious historical events, the so called Kentucky meat shower. I can only say that that's probably on a hub somewhere, and I would not click that title. Mama Mo says, "Do not look this up on any of the hubs," because I don't think you're going to get the same results historically. The Bath County History Museum exhibit details the March 1876 event, which is said to have occurred when Olympic Springs resident Rebecca Crouch was outside with her grandson and chunks of red meat rained down from the sky. A preserved piece of what is believed to be the meat that fell from the sky was preserved at the Transylvania University in Lexington. Wait a minute. So you guys are telling me, because now we have to see this. Is there any pictures on this? Of course not. I, I mean, what in the world? Okay. And why would you have it preserved in Transylvania University? I mean, you can't you can't write you can't make a movie like this. It would just be unbelievable. But real life is stranger than fiction. DNA tests on the preserved meat have been inconclusive, leading to multiple different theories about what caused the meaty rain. One includes there was a weather pattern where the winds will pick up small fish and frogs. It's called an upspout, and then they land down in another place. Kurt Goth, a professor at Transylvania University, told WLKY TV, for me, the vulture vomit theory is the only one that feels possible. So apparently they think that vultures were just upchucking everywhere, and that's how the meat happened. We could never get cloudy with a chance of meatballs, because do you understand how absolutely happy my inner Cartman would be if it just happened to rain all different flavors of ice cream one day? I mean, I have to deal with, not getting feet ice cream where people have walked. But I'm just saying, instead of a snowstorm, just a snowstorm of rocky road, my inner Cartman would be so happy. Why can't we ever get good phenomenon like that? No, it's always meat raining down from the sky, you have no idea, but never ice cream or $100 bills. I mean, seriously, I'm just saying, could we have that possibly? asking for a friend. It has been wonder it has to be Bluebell. It cannot be any other. It has been wonderful getting back to the, routine with you guys. I will be doing a different nightly Newsy News tonight, just talking about my experiences in Delphi, and it will probably be more emotional than my normal stuff, just because it really was okay, I'll allow it. It really was a very interesting experience, and I want to share it with you guys. So it will be a little bit more raw. It'll be a little bit more story timey, but hopefully you guys will enjoy that. I will try to do some newsy nuggets. I am doing my first bit of actual routine self care in 3 years. I'm going to get my hair done today. Um, so my final thoughts, if you have something that, you can afford to do nice for yourself and you've been putting it off, I put it off. I had a deadline for myself, at the end of summer, I was going to do something nice. Don't put it off. Do something nice for yourself. You deserve it. Uh, you know, and it can be anything that you like, but just be kind to yourself. You deserve nice things. And I think that's something that maybe we all forget. We get a little into our identities, our mom, our work, our things, and we forget to nurture our inner person. Now, it was a very surreal experience. But that's all the maturity and wisdom that I have for you today. I am going to be sending you off to Legal Vices. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you this evening. Have a great time and be careful today. Now that I've mommed the entire internet, I will let you guys go forth and have fun. Bye, guys. And remember, it's all fun and games until someone loses an eye. And our golden rule is no one's going to the ER today. So keep that in mind. Bye, guys.